What's up, people? Glad y'all didn't see that. Got that out. We are back, A2TP podcast, episode 87. We are back. How are y'all doing out there today? We are good in here. It is your boy, International Walt.
It's your girl, Taj, the co-hostess with the mostest.
And we are back for another episode of A2TP podcast. You guys can catch us out there on A2TPodcast.com. You can catch us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Google, Anchor, Radio Public, TikTok, Breaker, Spotify, and Twitter. Now that we got all the logistics out the way, how you doing?
I am.
No! How are you?
I'm here. I'm here. Yeah.
You gotta, that's it? Want me to move on? Just you're here?
No. You know, my baby had a little skin irritation on his nose, and I know you put some Neosporin on it.
Mm-hmm.
Just dab it a little bit because you're really shiny on the
I'm
nose.
listening.
Yeah, just dab it a little bit. Okay. I mean, I wanted to feel better, but yeah, I'm here. I am okay. You know, we are transparent with you know, our feelings and our lives, like we encourage other people to be. Transparency doesn't mean you shouldn't have discretion or discernment, but we are transparent. So, you know, we got some family things going on, and you know, I'm here. Mentally, I am probably a 6, and I'm grateful for my husband because I might be a 2. Yeah, and that's that. So I'm extremely grateful for my husband, for God, for having resources to utilize when life lifes you. Financially, I ain't spent a dime, so it's a 10.
That's a good thing. I haven't bought anything but weed, but it's a 10.
Work is an 8. You know, it is what it is. I was feeling a little funky, so you know, some days I wish, like, don't get me wrong, I don't want to be like on a computer on the weekend or anything like that, but sometimes I wish I could work during hours when other people aren't working, so they don't bother me. Like, I don't mind doing the work. It's the interaction with people sometimes that's like,
Not a team player, she is.
Well, it's not even just that. It's just, yeah, it's not that, but it's not just that. Physically, I'm a 6.
She had a little bump.
I had
She took our young kids out to the park and thought it was a great idea to run up a hill.
No. Correction. We didn't run. We walked up a hill. And this sounds really bad. I would like to say we ran or we did some extreme activity.
Hype it up a little
because
bit,
I don't want to lie. I don't.
It's called embellishment.
I don't want to. Embellishment is lying. We walked up a hill. It's a very steep hill. You know, I'll say that. It's a very steep hill. But we walked up the hill and walked down the hill, and my calves have seized up. Like, I can barely walk down. I can walk up this.
You went downhill.
I did go downhill,
like,
literally. And it's weird. Well, I mean, it's not weird because I know it's the way that your muscles flex depending on the activity you're doing. Walking up the steps, you know, it's a little like, ooh, Walking down the steps, I'm like holding on to the wall, holding on to the banister. So I am, my body is like a 6 because my calves have failed me.
And she always had great calves. Like, even when we were young, she had great calves, but they're not so much.
It ain't that I didn't
They're not
stretch.
Small, though. They just, like, not defined.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they don't have definition like they used to.
I didn't think I needed to stretch because, again, we weren't running. We weren't working out. The kids just wanted to walk up the hill because it's a big hill. And
you want to tell the people how old you are?
I'm 41, proudly.
So you need to stretch.
Obviously.
You need to stretch.
Obviously, just to walk up a hill.
Everybody would say you need to stretch.
Duly noted. How are you? No. How are you?
I'm good. You know, I had some. I would say I was about a 6 yesterday, but obviously through our resources and, you know, the things we do individually and together, I feel a little bit better. So I would say today I would be a 7.
Okay.
So that's a whole number jump.
That is, and that's an improvement.
Yeah, that's good. Finances is a 10. Like I said, I don't buy anything but weed. So finances is good. Work is, I would say, a 9. Work is okay.
That's
Work
good.
is good. So I ain't complaining.
And you just started
about
a couple new jobs. So proud of you for finishing your last successfully, like you always do.
Yes, I do. I pat myself on the back because you're probably the only one who do. Physicality, I feel. What? Oh, I got a bum ankles, but I feel good. I'm like an 8.
What's wrong with your ankle?
I might have tore a tendon. But you want somebody to care about your Achilles though, and your calves.
Babe, you know my.
I don't know anything. This could be a whole hoax.
So, babe, you can't even touch it.
It could be all mental too.
Thank you for making me laugh. I appreciate it. What are your wows and woes for this week?
My wows of this week is us being transparent and having some family dynamics go on, and just the strength of God. I know some people might not always want to receive God. Some people get mad at God. Some people question God. But I just want to stop and say thank you and recognize the strength of God. It's been a rough, tough week, but I'm here and we here, and it's only because of him that we are.
Absolutely.
So I got to give that shout out to say the strength of God is my wow.
And what's your woe?
The woe is so the woe is you know how you have resources but you like it sucks to use them, like you want to use them but not, like when some shit happened, and I felt kind of bad, like,
you infringe on
like infringing on people and stuff like that. And I'm always encouraged not to feel that way. And, it's an open door, but you just feel like, if it's not your time, it's not your time.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like, there's a thing called sick appointments and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you got an emergency. Now, I mean, it's kind of different. Well, it depends, because some doctor's offices will be like, can you come in today? Like, can you be on your way right now? Like, even if you may not have had an appointment because it's an urgent situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's great that we do have mental health professionals that work in the same capacity. I mean, I don't have any experience of other people. I hope that all, resources that work in that field extend themselves to the same, because it would be hard if I think if you had whatever, psychologist, psychiatrist, counselor, whatever, that wasn't available for you in a crisis or an urgent situation, that can be scary. And of course, everything ain't a crisis. You have to create some boundaries.
Right. So that's what I mean. Imagine how many people think their situation is a crisis when it really isn't. Or, imagine 13 crises coming at you at once.
Yeah.
So it's like, we think these people are, the best at what they do and superhuman to us, but they just human too.
Yeah. I'm sorry, were you done?
Yes, ma'am.
My wow, kind of ball it up into one and piggyback off of what you said, is God's grace and mercy. Like, this life.
We get a little juice while we give God his grace?
Yeah. This life can life you. I mean, life is so unpredictable. Like, when as a kid, you hear man plans, God laughs. And it's so true. And of course, there are some things you do have to plan, but you also have to prepare to be able to pivot, because you just don't know. And I know that it is only because of God that we're able to make it through certain things and not get over it, get around it, but literally you have to go through it. And and it's only by God. And the reason why I say I'm kind of ball it up into one is because also grateful to God that I have you, other people, and I am learning through my own healing journey that my emotional boundaries don't really allow me to extend myself to allow people to care about me in a way that they should. So I say all that to say, even when I'm going through stuff, whatever it is, I don't really share with a lot of people because I don't want the pity. I don't want to feel like a complainer. I don't want to burden people with my problems. But I say all that to say I'm grateful for 2 people in my life who, even without knowing details of the situation, this is in addition to my husband because he's always there. But even without knowing the situation, they just love on me as sisters. Like they are my sisters, my sister-in-law, Akeisha, and my sister Toya. And again, I attribute that all to God because Toya, couldn't really talk to her because I knew I would be emotional. And she texted me yesterday or whatever, and I didn't really respond. And then, it's one of them, we have a relationship. We can talk all day, every day for 4 or 5 days. Come Friday afternoon, we might not talk again until Monday when it's time for work or Tuesday or something. Just, that's just our relationship. And she realized, like, I hadn't talked to her. She hadn't seen me present on social media. And she called me, like, by my full name. Natasha Deets, where are you? What's going on? What's up? She was like, I something's not right. And of course I started crying. I'm like, I can't talk to you, but I want to talk to you. I just need a moment. And she's like, I'm here whenever you need me. And I just appreciate that love of like, yeah, we may talk all day, every day for 4 or 5 days and then not talk for 2 or 3 days. But I appreciate having people in my life that do show up for me, even though I don't always create space for people to show up for me. Yeah. So
and just a sidebar, when you do share with your friends and stuff like that, like I'm just assuming, do they always think it's me?
No, the funny thing is,
because I say that because it's not like we go through shit a lot, but it's like if a spouse is upset, the first thing in your mind is y'all beefing or y'all going through something.
I don't think so. I mean, if she knows, I don't think that's that. Again, I don't know. You only know what people say, but it's funny because when she called me, I was on speakerphone and one of her brothers in the background, and my niecey Pooh, Armani was like, "Is that Aunt Tashi?" Like I could hear them talking, and then she texted me and she was like, I had no idea that would be your response, or else I wouldn't have had you on speakerphone. She was like, I thought you was like somewhere booed up, boo loving, and that's why you just had, been kind of distant because you was just boo loving. So the immediate thought process isn't, oh, something's wrong because I haven't heard from her or something. She just thought like, we was booed up and I just was not on social media, but she knew like, let me just check because she knows that's not even if we don't talk all weekend or even during the week for a couple days, like we'll respond to each other's texts. So,
and your sister-in-law?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because, I love my sister-in-law and she just, even, not really being able to talk to her in any details, she just sent me a couple texts. She's like, I'm praying for you. Just wanted to let you know you in my thoughts. I'm praying for you. And that was really
meaningful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because some people can be I don't want to say it's with bad intentions, but some people can be intrusive and not respect like what's going on. And
then feel offended, like they don't want to care because you didn't tell them. So it's like maybe they feel like, well, maybe you don't want me to care because you didn't share with me.
And I'm not, and no, this is no shade to people that do it. I'll admit, I did used to look at it with shade, like it was just attention seeking when people like post stuff to social media, like, please, I need all my prayer warriors.
No, that's not.
But listen,
go ahead. I'm gonna listen to you, but I'm gonna knock this down.
That's not me. That's never been me. And it's just not. But reason why I say, what? It is. No, right. Reason why I say it is attention seeking, but isn't necessarily a negative thing because it may be something that people need to bring attention to, even without putting their business out there. But maybe they don't have no praying people in their life, and they be like, I know y'all talk about God on here, so I need some people to say some prayer. Like maybe. I know for some people it's just.
I think it's the wrong form. I'm not disagreeing with asking people to pray for you, But going to the internet and asking strangers like on Instagram to pray for you is probably not the right.
But not everybody on Instagram is strangers.
No, but I mean, you don't. If you talk, then why don't you just call your family?
But that's the thing. Maybe everybody don't want to call everybody. But if you got, 10 cousins, 4 girlfriends, 7 aunts, and everybody all
and
in
you
your
think
social
your phone
media
ain't gonna ring
circle.
after that? You think your phone ain't gonna ring after that? You think your phone ain't gonna ring after that? Like, come on.
Too.
It's either like you want them to call you or you gonna call them. But
that's true.
It's just the wrong forum for that.
I won't say it's the wrong. It's just not my preferred forum. I have a very, very, small, close knit group, few friends, and it's not even. I see somebody like refer to their friends as a circle, and I had posted something a while ago. I said, when I think about it, I don't have a circle of friends because a circle implies that like we're all connected. I said I have like an asterisk of friends. Like this is my friend, this is my friend, this is my friend, but they not connected to each other. Like I don't have that kind of friend circle where it's like, oh, we all, unless it's for a specific occasion. Like I don't have like.
You're changing the circle meaning though, but that's not.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't have.
You just totally changed the circle meaning.
I don't have a circle of friends where like we're all friends.
No, the circle represents trust. If you remember the movie, it's the circle of trust, and the people in it are the people who get the trust.
Well, okay.
That's
if you want to look at it like that, I have a very small circle of friends. I have, quite a few like acquaintances or associates that, I'm cool with, but I don't.
You have friends, like none of that. I hear what you're saying, but just from the outside, you have acquaintances, you have friends, you have a best friend, but you have zero emotional friends except me.
I know.
And that's not a bad thing.
I'm emotional with Toya in some occasions.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just was, like I said, I'm assuming. I don't know y'all conversations.
And you know what? I guess we're probably both the same in the aspect of, unless it's like something. I mean, our current situation was just a different dynamic, but unless it's like something like urgent, we usually tell each other about stuff like after the fact, like once we process our emotions. And Toya says something about herself, which I agree. Toya is not an impulsive person. So when something happens, she's kind of like a sit back thinker, like, what kind of emotion am I going to give this? So something could happen and a week later she's like livid because she's had time to process it, or she's sad or she's over it by that point, but she's not an impulsive emotional person, and I am.
Mm-hmm.
And
so am I.
Yeah, and sometimes I will call her, about like, tell me if I'm overreact or if I'm being crazy, or like give me a different perspective to look at this. She's really good in that respect because it'll be something that I think is like
out the pocket.
Yeah, and she might be like,
it's in the pocket.
Well, you look at it from this way. You think about it from this way. So she's very good at giving me a different perspective. And we have never been yes friends. Like she'll tell me like, nah, you tripping. Like that ain't that deep. Or I'll tell her like, I think maybe you took it the wrong way. It's like, so that's what I appreciate about our relationship. But you're right. She is my only like emotional friend. And I'm not fully transparent in that area too, because I'm very guarded about my feelings and not wanting what I think, I don't want to be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost selfish in the sense of like, I'm only going to tell you this if I know you're going to respond how I need you to respond, which is like some controlled thing.
We all good? Wrapped it all up? Well, I don't know where we was going with that.
I was processing my own.
What the fuck was going on here? I don't know what the fuck she was talking about the last 5 minutes. She just was going on and on and on and
you
on.
Wasn't paying attention.
I was paying you attention, but it was like, I mean, I was catching some stuff, but that was like a little bit of a ramble there a little bit.
Wow.
But
let me drink my water.
It's cool though. It's cool. I'm glad that was
purging. Yeah. I haven't really talked to many people the last few days.
It's cool.
And I feel like I'm talking
to the people. I got it. She talking about friends, and her best friends, and I'm sure everybody out there, if you don't have a best friend, that's probably a little sad. I didn't always have a best friend either, but you know,
Ta-da.
yeah. But what about platonic friends? Let's talk about platonic friends. So obviously we talk. Yeah, nothing changed there.
Wait, it's so funny you say it because you okay?
We about to go somewhere else?
No, it's about but it's funny that you say this because I just had a mental picture. And again, I never know what the topic is going to be, but I just was watching a show last night or yesterday, and it was a husband and wife, and they were being interviewed, and they were like sitting just like we are, this direction to the camera, and the interviewer asked the husband like, "So do you have any female friends?" And I was like turned to see what he was going to say, but before he could say it, she was like, "Hell no." So, do you have any female friends? Hell no.
I got a couple. So platonic friends, right?
You got
That's
a couple.
like friends that you're supposed to be non-sexual with. There's 7 things that make a platonic relationship.
Okay.
Number 1 is being honest about your feelings. Set healthy boundaries. Refrain from physical affection. Give each other personal space. Avoid sex talks. Tell your partner about your friend. That should be number 1. I don't know why that's like number 6. And don't go on dates. So having those 7 things in place, do you think that men and women could be platonic friends?
You know, under those scenarios, it's weird that you say that, and it changes my thought process about platonic friends, because usually when you hear people talk about a platonic friend, it does include them going on dates. It's like out. Friend dates,
yeah.
You know, or it may include, I don't want to specifically say it may include sex talks, but it kind of implies like they can talk about anything. Not, I mean, of course, not sex amongst each other, but
no, like if they're having sex, something wrong, some problems, they can talk about it with their friend.
But you saying that, I don't think people respect those boundaries.
No,
in terms of platonic relationships, because I know people, you know,
because what does that mean? Set healthy boundaries. Like that's kind of broad. So what does that mean?
In my mind,
does that mean all the rest of the rules?
No, I would think also boundaries in terms of, you know, like time frames of contact. I would think in my mind, having like house visitations or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
so you can't have any house visitations, even if one of the rules is tell your partner about your friend. Like, why can't your friend come over?
Well, I say healthy boundary. I should have said pop up.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking in my mind.
Okay,
like just showing up at my house,
right.
Like if I got a girl or something.
Well, that's on there because it says give each other personal space.
Yeah. So I mean, boundaries. I would think the contact would be like the most important thing. Like just because y'all friends, like don't think that you can call one or the other like 11 o'clock at night or be texting each other about something. Like I can't. What other boundaries do you think would have to be in place?
I'm thinking about this. I've never had a female friend that had these boundaries in place. I think it's all bullshit, to be honest with you. Like I don't think you can not have sex talks if you're friends. And this platonic relationship is supposed to be love. Like you have the love of a friend. Like I love this person as my friend, but I don't desire them sexually. I don't share. I mean, if that's your friend and you love him, you're going to share some stuff that you're going through with him.
Yeah,
which would make them have empathy for you, almost like a shoulder to cry on.
Right.
You know, a confidant in a sense. So, and what do you mean? Don't go on dates? Like if my friend says I want to go to the movies, or I'm in town for something, and can you come over and eat dinner with me? Like what? Can you meet me at this restaurant? Oh, your wife going out with her friends. If you ain't doing nothing, can you meet me at this restaurant? Like, you can't go and eat dinner if it's totally platonic.
Yeah, a movie date.
If people believe in this, I don't. But I'm just saying, if people do.
A movie date, I think, would be like a little weird. But then again, maybe like y'all both are like
Star
Marvel
Wars
fans
fan,
or something, and it's like, oh, this movie's coming out. We've seen all of them together for over the years, and and your wife isn't into it, or your your husband isn't into it, and there. But I mean, yeah, a dinner date, a brunch date, a breakfast date. I don't necessarily see anything wrong with that if there are respectful boundaries in place, if your significant other knows about the person and they are okay with it. I don't see how that could create an unhealthy situation.
But is this plausible? Are those 7 things plausible in a female-male relationship? I'm thinking back on friends I've had in the past, any females. I don't even think that it is plausible. Like, one of these things or 2 or 3 of these things are going to give.
Well, I mean, I think it excuse me, I think it's plausible when you said the lack of affection, right?
What type of friendship would this be if you were totally honest with each other? If
Okay.
you set healthy boundaries.
Okay.
If you refrain from physical affection.
No, that I think is significant.
So that means no hugs.
Well, I mean,
like hey, how you doing? No hugs, because that's physical affection.
You think it's
that would be the only time you would be hugging? Because why would you be hugging at any other time?
Okay.
So the only time you would be
going.
hugging your friend is if you were meeting her or meeting him or saying hi or bye.
Keep going.
So refrain from physical affection. Give each other personal space. So I don't know if that means, hey, I know we went to that spot the other night. You want to go to the spot tonight? Nah, I'm good because, I'm just trying
and
to
also
reframe a little
space,
bit.
I would think, too, is like again, like me and Toya, we can talk all day. I mean, not talk, but text all day. So that's also, even though it's not physical, but it's still that physical space of like not bombarding their life all day, every day. Like,
I don't think that's physical space at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So physical space, you mean literally like in-person physical space. Okay.
Avoid sex talks.
Yeah. So my thought about this whole thing is, if you have a platonic friend and they are a real friend, I'm just going to say, if you're 40 years old and this has been your friend since y'all were 16, I'm just throwing a number out there.
I was ready to say 5, but go ahead.
Like, all of those things, you avoiding those things, it's like, how deep is this relationship? Like,
exactly, that's what I mean. What kind
this
of
is like a work
is this?
friend. That's more so what I'm thinking about this as. This is just one of your co-workers that y'all friends at work, but y'all go home, y'all don't never talk to each other, y'all ain't inviting each other to a cookout, or at least not singly, like maybe you're inviting couples to the cookout. But that's what this sounds like to me. This doesn't sound like a platonic friend, or like the makings of a platonic friend, in the sense of like a man having a woman that's his best friend. Again, that
this is the 7 things that they say that have to be in place for a platonic friendship to work. So this is the definition of a platonic friendship.
I was about to say, what is the actual definition? Do you know?
It's real long, but it's to share love along with these. To make a long story short, to share love. That specifically says that with these 7 things in place. But you love the friend like with your heart and your soul, like, but not affectionately.
Wow, that's
And then you think about that, it's like, how can I have a friend that's a female, even if I've known her since I was 5 years old and I'm 45, like, and I'm supposed to love her as a friend and care about her well-being, and if she's hurt or something like that, and show up to these events throughout her life, but we got these boundaries that totally.
You know what this makes me think? Maybe we, meaning society, have been utilizing that terminology inappropriately. Maybe we've been identifying male-female friendships as platonic relationships, when that really isn't what the intent of that relationship is.
As far as man and woman.
Yeah,
where it should be same sex.
So that's another thing. Does a platonic relationship, is it specific to different sexes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, maybe we have just been identifying it inappropriately, because I can think of some people who have a quote unquote best friend who's a woman or as a man, and again, like those things don't, I mean, those things don't aren't a part of the mix. Like
they aren't aligned with a true friendship.
Yeah.
Like they're not aligned, because if I'm hurt about something, I want to be honest about my feelings with you and hope that you can care for me and encourage me, pick me back up if you're my friend and I love you. Like that's what you're supposed to do. But if I got, some boundaries, or I can't talk to you, or even if it is 11 o'clock at night, if you are the only thing that's available to me at that time, like we on restriction because it's nighttime.
Well, but see, that's one thing I think that is a given in any situation. Like I have boundary. I mean, and don't get me wrong, this is not. I just feel like as a wife, my phone is not gonna ring at midnight for anybody because I'm not gonna have the ringer on. Those who are closest to me have his number. So if they know if it's a real emergency, they ring his phone because it's going to be on. So I feel like that's a boundary that's in place for any relationship, not just a platonic relationship. But yeah, when you talk about if that's the definition, and if that is what is the makeup of a platonic relationship, that just makes me feel like, wow, we've been mislabeling.
We've been duped.
Yeah, we've been mislabeling. So do you feel, excluding that, do you feel that opposite sex friendship is plausible and can be a neutral relationship, or in the same way that a same-sex friendship can be?
I don't think so. You know what? I don't think so, because I think at some point, whether it's rejected or not, I think at some point the lines get crossed and the lines get blurred. And sometimes you can go back to being friends and be like, okay, not saying you had sex or anything, but somewhere the lines got blurred where somebody got flirtatious, somebody went across the line, and maybe it was rejected, maybe it wasn't, maybe it was talked about, but some people can go back to being friends and some people don't ever go back to being friends. But men and women, like just me being a man, no. If I got a friend who, if I'm a single guy and I have a friend who is with a guy who's treating her like shit and she don't get it and she's always crying on my shoulder and I have empathy for her, then yeah, one night she comes over, I'm gonna feel like, he ain't no good for you.
Control yourself?
No, like, he ain't no good for you. Like, why are you with this dude?
But what if you're not sexually attracted to her? But she's just like, she's a friend.
Men are sexually attracted to women, period.
Okay.
So there's not a man on this earth that can say he's not sexually attracted to a female.
So you think, okay, I see what you're saying. It's plausible for every man to be attracted to any woman.
Yes.
Depending on the circumstances.
Yes.
Which that makes me happy that you say that, because it goes to show that, I mean, I know this about you. You're not a shallow person. But that's why I think you can see people in relationships where it's like, wow, like on the outside, people would think that they don't go together or they aren't a match. And it's like, you don't know them and what could have connected them. I seen
you would call a 10 one way or a 10 the other way, and you're like, well, how did they get together?
I seen a reel or a TikTok or something like that about this couple. It was a white lady. She was a little heavy set. I mean, she wasn't a bad looking lady, I guess. I mean, she was just a little chunky look, but she was normal looking. And her husband,
whatever that is.
Like, I mean, cause she wasn't like some drop dead gorgeous model, but she wasn't funny looking.
Okay.
Like it wasn't nothing bad looking about her at all. But her husband, and again, this was a white couple. Her husband was gorgeous. Like, he was a very nice looking man, and she was saying like so many, like this is one of them things. Of course, on TikTok, people post stuff like this for like the pity, I guess, and for the likes and the go viral. But what she said was true, and it made sense. Like, she gets so many messages like, people are mean. Like, how did you get, oh, she must be a sugar mama, or, you know, just all kinds of mean stuff. She must do all, or he gotta cheat, or he gotta be cheating, like all kinds of stuff. But again, you never know who those people are and what attracted him to her or her to him. Like, she could just be an awesome woman. So I digress, but it made me, you know, think about that when you said that, like, every man could be attracted to any woman. It might not be your taste, but you never know what could lead y'all to be together.
Any man on the planet can sleep with any woman. It does not matter about attraction. Like, at some point, in any circumstance or some circumstance, it can happen.
So with that being said, when you were talking initially, I was going to say, I do think that it's plausible for a man and woman to have a friendship and for it to be neutral, and it, you know, to not
nobody
just
ever,
listen, and for it not to blur the line.
Nah.
But this is what I feel that I know about men. Even if he was committed to just being friends and he never, you know, tried to blur the line, if for a half second she did, I don't think the man would reject it. And I
Probably
think
not. And
therein lies the problem.
That leads me to my next question, is why more often than not do society think the man is the one who breaches the line?
Well, because men are just, you know, have that stereotype of being woo, 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 woo.
But what the fuck? We gotta be woof, 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 woof. Like, what about y'all being man, 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 man?
Well, I mean, it's true. I'm not disagreeing with you
like,
at all.
Why does the society think, oh, if it's a
men
platonic relationship,
carnal.
he's gonna be the one? So what? We hunt, we eat, we gather. Like, that's what we do. Like, but why do you always assume it's us? Like, how do you know she don't just think like, you know, my friend fine as hell, like, I'm gonna try something?
I think that it's probably like a 70-30.
Like, if some shit go down, it's always like, what did you do?
Well, no, you know what? Actually, I'm lying. I think
70-30 men?
No, I'm lying. I'm not lying. I had to reprocess. I think women know, and ladies, y'all with me, don't lie. We know within 5 seconds of meeting a man. He don't even have to say nothing. Just looking at him, we know whether or not
you would sleep with him.
Right.
Yeah.
So then once you get
I knew that since I was 15 years old.
Right. So you know a man is attractive, and whether or not you would sleep with him once you see him, y'all becoming friends after that could change the dynamic of your relationship. But you knew when you saw him, oh, it's possible that he could get it. So I think that's why I say I changed my mind. Women I think are just as equally. It's equally plausible for a woman to pursue a man in a same-sex relationship as it is for a man.
So I mean, if you met me like as a kid, and obviously we knew each other when we were young, but I had this friend who was a female who grew up with me and was, you know, a friend to me, and was not that attractive. What would you think about that? Even like if I had that friend to this day.
I don't know if you would still have it to this day, but it would depend on it would depend on.
You would make me get rid of a friend?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
It would depend on the dynamics of your relationship when I was around y'all. Like, and that's another thing. It couldn't be.
There never was no issue or nothing. Like, never. Well, you never had a hint. You never even. She went out of her way to make you feel like your man
That's
is
why
safe.
I said it would depend on the dynamics of the relationship and what vibe I got from her. Cause you know I'll tell you in a heartbeat, like, babe, she want to give you some.
Okay, like, so now would the dynamic change if she was drop dead gorgeous?
No,
if she was a girl who grew up and was like, damn, like, you see how she's smoking hot, like, drop dead.
You know
gorgeous,
what?
But still was my friend like that.
I forgot about the part that you said she wasn't that attractive because it would be the same. Like, I wouldn't feel like.
It was just to frame two questions.
I understand, but I'm saying in my mind, I didn't even look at it that way because I would feel the same way in either scenario. Like, it wouldn't automatically for a woman to automatically just say, "Oh, she can't be your friend because she's gorgeous," that says a lot about you, sis. You have some serious security issues, and that hopefully he can.
No, I'm sure she wouldn't say, or the girl would say she can't be your friend because she's
I
gorgeous.
know, but I'm saying, even if she didn't say it, if she felt like that just because of that reason, even if she never told you, but in her mind she felt like that just because the girl was gorgeous, then that's a more reflection of her, how she feels about herself internally. She's afraid. She feels.
So why do you think any girl gives a shit about her man cheating? Because they think the girl looks good. Like that's a part of it too. I'm not saying that's the sole reason, but that's a part of it too. Like if because you don't want the person that he's cheating with to you don't want it to seem like she's better than you.
But that's where women go
regardless
wrong.
If you think that or not. That's a self-esteem issue.
But no, that's the thing. Women know that. Guess what? The ones that you ain't looking out for is the one that is really nice and listens to him. Might be bringing him cookies to work just because she don't got a fat ass, or just because she ain't walking around strutting it in front of him. That's probably the one who ain't gonna want him because
I'm just trying to make the point of does that matter?
No,
that's what I was saying. Does that matter? If it's his friend and she's 300 pounds, do you care if she comes around and she's 120 pounds and smoking hot and
That's why I was saying in the first scenario, I wasn't thinking about that scenario in the sense of she's not that attractive.
Okay.
I was just thinking about my same thought process would be for any woman. It would depend on what y'all dynamic was like. It would depend on her body language, how she communicated with me, like what's her life about. That would, for me be like, I don't really feel comfortable with y'all relationship. Not to say because I think you gonna try to sleep with her. It would be more so I don't trust that she'll respect she will respect boundaries and respect our relationship. Like that's what it would be.
Now, you don't trust them.
Yeah, I mean that's considering. I mean I trust you.
But like you said in your previous statement, I feel like if the girl just for half a second said, "Yeah," I don't think the man would.
Well, I was speaking in general. I wasn't speaking about my man.
No, I ain't talking about me. I'm talking about you think any man would.
No, not any man would, but I think that that's
most men.
Yeah, I'm not saying every man. I know there are some men that would say, "Nah, we not on that time," or I have a woman, or I don't want to ruin our relationship, or I don't want to cheat. Like, or even if he didn't have a woman, I'm not saying every man would, but I am saying there's a chance that even if the man didn't pursue her in a sexual way and he respected the boundaries for 10, 15, 20 years of their relationship, if that door cracked open a little bit, he might dip a toe in it. That's all I'm saying. Like, so he could very well be committed to this, just my friend. I don't want to disrespect her. I don't want her to think, I don't want to mess up our relationship, or I've been seeing her get dogged out all these years by men. I don't want her to think I'm trying to take advantage of her. Like, so he may want her, but keep it in. But I think in some situations, if the woman showed that,
But it's not the same if the man showed a little, the woman would be like, "No, you dirty dog ass nigga." Like we ain't like that's fucked up. That's a shame. We get a bad rap with that. Do you think women can refrain?
Yeah, I definitely think women can refrain, but it depends on. So
if you think women can refrain, why couldn't I have a friend? And I don't want a friend. I'm just asking for the sake of the conversation. If you think women can refrain, so your issue wouldn't be the woman because you just saying I think women can refrain, and you trust me. So what about
that doesn't mean I think all women could, and I don't have the time and energy to be getting, because if you getting to know somebody, that means I'm getting to know somebody, right. And I don't have the time and energy to be.
Why does that mean that though?
Because that's what that means. You're not like.
How does that mean that though? I could have went to the supermarket to get a chicken,
and you met a friend. Then that means I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing if you out here in the chicken aisle looking for friends.
She helped me pick a chicken.
Okay, you say thank you and you go on about your life. She don't need to be now a part of your life because she picked the chicken.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I don't want no friend, babe.
No, I understand that. I ain't paying you no attention.
We do Instacart. I don't go to the market to buy chickens.
Let's flip the table though. So
absolutely fucking not.
No. Let me
you can lay it out all
scenario.
I don't even. You can lay it out all you want. Absolutely.
I'm 41. If I had a friend since I was 7,
I'd have been beat that nigga the fuck up.
But, no, what if he got a wife, kids, he living his happy life?
Then go live your life over there, bro. Stop.
So we couldn't be friends?
No.
Even if you knew him and the wife and kids came over for cookouts?
Nope.
Why?
Nah.
Why?
Probably because I just don't want to.
That's not enough reason. Why? Do you not trust me?
Don't trust him?
Okay, but if I tell you, babe, we've been friends since 7. He's never come on to me.
I don't care. He's a guy. It can happen anytime. I don't care what you tell me. What you tell me is just you making me mad because you defending the situation. So you don't gotta tell me a lot. But no.
But that's my friend for all these years. So now I just gotta tell him we can't be friends anymore.
Yeah, you remember a few 10 minutes ago when you was like, because you wouldn't still have a friend. No. Remember I said if I had a friend when I was young, you was like, yeah, I don't know about that because I don't think you still have her. Like, people caught that. People caught that. That was like saying, and I was like, damn, I would have to get rid of a friend. And you was like, yeah.
Well, I don't mean...
the same applies to you.
I'm not saying automatically you would have to get rid of her. I'm just saying I would have to vet her.
I'm telling you automatically you would have to get rid of him. I ain't vetting shit.
That's not right.
It's a cease and desist order.
Okay, and what if I met a guy who did my hair or something and we just became cool?
Nah, it's a girl that does my hair. We cool when I go there.
We finished you. We're talking about me.
No.
Okay.
No.
Does his sexuality matter?
No.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
So
don't bring your gay friends around either. And I don't have nothing against gay people.
But just a man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a dude. He wasn't gay since he was a little 6-month-old baby. He probably dibble and dabble.
And I'm going to turn him straight.
He might like that. I don't know. Have you ever had a male friend, quote unquote, you loved? Fuck no. Fuck out of here.
No.
I never had a female friend that I didn't care about sexually that I you didn't love.
Yeah.
I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that it can work. Biblically, do you think that's the way it's supposed to be? Like we just touched on? You just think the platonic friendship's just supposed to be same sex, not men and women? Because men and women are supposed to be procreating.
I don't know if God meant it like that. I never thought about it from a biblical sense. To be honest, no.
I mean, that's why it's so hard because...
But no, I think if we do think about it biblically, then no, I think we should be able to be friends because the lust shouldn't be there. But we know that, Eve ruined that when she ate that apple. So, that went out the window. But I'm just saying... If we remove
lust, gotta sneak some Christianity in there.
If we move lust from the scenario, then that changes the dynamic, and you would be able to nurture and have friendships of people of any sex. I mean, never mind. Yeah, you would be able to be friends with anybody. So
I think biblically it's not supposed to be that way. Not that I was reading the Bible or anything, but maybe that's why it's so difficult for men and women to be friends like that, because it's not supposed to be that way.
That's a different perspective.
Mm-hmm. Just something to think about. I'm not saying that's what it is, but it's possibly true because it's very difficult for men and women to be friends, like same-sex friends would be without blurring the lines. Do you really think they exist?
See, I think they do.
Do you think there are relationships out there between men and women that has never, ever, ever in their whole relationship blurred the lines?
You know who it made me immediately think about? Charlemagne.
Charlamagne and
like, I don't know like specifics, but I know he talks about a lot of female friends. Now I don't know if these are like friends just because they're in the industry, like work friends, or if these are like real hardcore.
No, he talks about his like his sisters. He talks about them a lot and how they're like at his house a lot and involved in a lot of things he do. So, I think about it in that aspect. But you talking about a person on a.
I don't think that has anything to do with it. He's still a man who has a wife, who has a family, and these are women. Like they could be he could be working on podcasts in the Breakfast Club, or he could be working
failed at this in the past. I didn't want to like say that, but I mean it's not like this is like he has went outside of his marriage in the past.
Okay.
So I don't understand like how you have other friends.
But that might not have been him going outside of his marriage in the past might have been specifically for that intent. That might not have been a friend that he ended up sleeping with. It might have been a jump off that was for jump off purposes. I'm just saying. Now again, I don't know if I don't know, but he was the person that I thought about. I would like to think, and maybe this is just the optimist in me. I would like to think that we aren't just this carnal society like Sodom and Gomorrah waiting to jump each other's bones and can't really nurture and have great friendships with people of the opposite sex, and it be healthy and loving and commingling as far as the families.
We're animals though, so I don't understand why you not think that it's like that. Like since time immemorial, we're animals. Like that's what we're put here to do. Like all this domestication of us is a societal thing. Like that's not how we started. So it's in us to be that way.
You think even if you're satisfied and being fulfilled in that way, your animalistic instincts are still going to come out?
No, I'm saying I'm not, it's up to you to control whether they come out or not. I'm just saying you could be heavily in love and your wife could be heavily in love with you, but y'all still see people throughout the day or on TV that you may be attracted to.
I guess. I mean... I guess. My optimism would so you think it's just not possible at all?
I don't think there's a friendship out there. I think that there's people out there of the opposite sex who are friends, but I don't think anywhere in a relationship there hasn't been a line blurred. Yeah, if you're telling me we've been friends since I was 5 years old and we're 50 and the line has never been blurred.
You don't believe it?
No. Like y'all never kissed. He never tried to kiss you. Y'all never you never tried to kiss him. Y'all never wondered. Y'all never did anything.
But is wondering bad?
No, not. But I'm saying
the other
wondering and acting, not like just wondering as a thought in your head. But
I was gonna say
somewhere down the line,
in trouble for their wonders.
Rappers.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
What have you learned?
Man, my brain has been too cloudy for any additional information.
She didn't learn anything.
I didn't learn anything.
We learned nobody is immune to the trials and tribulations of life. Anything can hit home.
Thank you, Jesus.
So that's what we learned.
Thank you for learning from
3 grams. Tiffany Haddish skit with Aries Spears. I saw this skit today.
You saw it?
Yeah, I searched on the internet, searched on YouTube, and found it.
Oh,
it was very old. I was sorry that I watched it.
Yikes.
I don't see how to get around something like this. It was a skit. Let's try to explain this while I took a sip of water. Mm-hmm. It was a skit of Tiffany Haddish being a single mom.
Okay.
And she has about a 5-year-old son. And she's living with, her Uncle Pete lives with her, who is Aries Spears.
Okay.
And, he's sitting around the house reading the newspaper, and every so often she comes up dressed like she's going out to the club saying, "Hey, Uncle Pete, can you watch Rodney, her son? I got to run to the library. Uncle Pete, can you watch Rodney? I got to run to the DMV, and it's 10 o'clock at night." Mm-hmm. So shit like that. And she's coming in the living room with this boy saying, "Uncle Pete, can you watch him?" And he's like, "Yeah," but he's like staring at the boy. Aries Spears with that like staring at the boy. So she leaves the room, goes and does what she's doing. She's out the scene, and it's this Aries Spears. The boy is on the floor in his underwear, playing it with a car. And I don't even know how, like, this is a child, like a 5-year-old child on the floor in his underwear. And Aries Spears has a newspaper up, like he's behind it, but he has 2 eyes cut out of the newspaper. And he's like looking at the boy, licking his lips and stuff. So then they cut to another scene where actually the video stopped and said, can't show you this on YouTube. But by the end, Aries Spears has the boy spraying him down. So then it cuts to the next scene. Uncle Pete, can you watch? Rodney, I got to run to this. And he's like, it's a little late to be going there. They probably closed. And she's like, no, I got to go. So she leaves the boy and goes. Well, he's in the tub. When, like, she in the bathroom and he's in the tub, the little boy, no clothes on. So Aries Spears is like, yeah, okay. And he sits down on the edge of the tub and she leaves. And then the video stops and YouTube says, can't show you this on YouTube. But it says by the end of this clip, Aries Spears is in the tub with the boy. So then it goes to the next one and they're in there and they like, I guess the satire is, now she does it for the last time. Can you watch him? I gotta leave. And she leaves. And now the little boy has the newspaper up with 2 eyes cut out. And he's looking at Aries Spears like that. Like the transformation. It was so eerie and like sick. And it was like, who thought this was like funny? Like, who thought this was funny, and how do you get around this? And, you know, who kid was this? Like, why is his clothes off in this video? Like, what?
Well, I think it was the kid of the lady that's suing.
Okay, I seen that lady, which they snapped a picture of her partying at Tiffany Haddish's her birthday party. So I somehow they're friends or friendly, but that lady who's suing was at her birthday party with a fucking bedazzle laughing and shit.
But guess what? 2 things can be true. They could be very wrong for inappropriate conduct with this kid, and the mom could still have been partying.
She's saying it's extortion. She's saying that the lady has
no,
been
it probably
extorting her
is.
for a long
But
time.
But guess what? This coming to the surface, even if the lady doesn't win, she doesn't get any money from it. They got some explaining to do. Because is it extortion because she agreed to it and now she's backing out? Because if that's the case, y'all wanted her to stay quiet. I mean, it sounds disgusting either way. Like what? Like, and this wasn't like you said. Okay, it's on you. It wasn't a TV show. It wasn't a movie. Like, why did you just take it upon yourself to want to portray this role? For what purpose? This wasn't educational. Like, for what purpose? Aries Spear, you want to do all these Bill Cosby voices and all that? You're just like him. Like, well, you're worse than him if this is a kid. Like, that's disgusting.
And I like Tiffany Haddish. I just didn't understand. Like, not to get
even
into
if
too
she
much
wasn't
detail.
in the scenes, like you were a part of the production of this.
The shenanigans, and that's not good. That's going to be hard to get around.
Yeah. That's you about to be in the same lane as R. Kelly and Bill Cosby with that one, and Michael Jackson.
600 Breezy girl killed herself and left a heartbreaking text message to him. And we read that yesterday, but just your thoughts about that.
So I started to tell you this earlier, but I didn't want you to fuss at me because I know you worry about. No, just listen. I know you worry about my mental space, and I'm just telling you. I looked at her page, right, and rest in peace to Raven K. Jackson, and this is one of those prime examples. Not just because she killed herself, but just in life. I hope that not just young girls, because grown people do this too. Stop seeing people's lives on social media and thinking that you know them because of a picture or a video. Like, that is literally a snapshot, a moment in time. This girl had a successful fitness. She was like a fitness person. She had a successful fitness business, beautiful girl, awesome body, like on like videos as recent as like the last week in August. So present on social media, like just doing her thing, and inside was shattered, like based on, the information that she shared, and just not feeling like, just feeling the way that she felt in the message that was shared. For somebody to jump off a bridge, that ain't like, I'm gonna take these pills and lay down and not just
I was
wake
going to
up.
say that's different from like I'm gonna have one sock on in the bathroom and pills in one hand.
Like, you jumped off a bridge.
Yeah, that takes a lot of balls.
You didn't want it to be a chance of, that's what I think about. You didn't want it to be a chance of anybody saving you.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it's crazy because she wrote that message there.
Yeah, she said how beautiful it was.
The bridge looked, and she wished that he was there. So that's, man, like, again, to say that people are weak to do that, man, it's you got to be so fucking strong.
I'm gonna say this,
to wrap up and be like I'm done.
Exactly. You have to have a powerful moment to be able to do it.
Yeah, something. But even before that, to have the will to say I'm done and I'm going to do it. Yeah, to get to that point to do it, that actually might be the easier part. But to get to the point where you are fed up, like I'm done. Like just her saying I gave up a long time ago. Like I just been putting a facade on. Like that is like you just can't imagine something like that.
And we haven't talked about it in a while, as far as encouraging you guys to be, just, manage your mental wellness. We talk about our healing, our therapy, but I encourage, one of the things that I was doing, which is stupid, and other people may have done this too, like, and watching her videos, just trying to look at her face and see, like, damn, like, was it anything? I mean, based on his message, people knew she dealt with depression and stuff, but it's one thing to know somebody deals with depression, or, somebody is sad and stuff like that, but to, like, think that they would do that, I don't think anybody can imagine it. And I was just trying to look at her face, like, was it something somebody could have grabbed onto, hugged her a little tighter, and it could have just not been. So, it was a beautiful picture that somebody had tagged him in, and he like put it in his story or something. I was looking at, they were like in a club, and it really was like their silhouette on the side of them. She was straddled across him, sitting on his lap facing him, and they were kissing. It was just the silhouette of them, and it was just thinking like, damn, like this beautiful young girl, in life just, it got too heavy. It got too heavy. And I don't know, like, her family dynamics or anything like that. Mom, dad, siblings. I don't think she had any kids. And I'm just really praying for the family and for the young guy that, the guy, I'm not familiar. He's a rapper.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with his stuff either.
Yeah.
But I just named 600 Breezy.
But just really, really heartbreaking. Beautiful young woman, beautiful life. And not to go too far, another thing I want to say, we kind of talked about this a while ago, but we have to realize sometimes, a lot of times, that we as a people, as a world, like not just Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, East Coast, as a world, just went through and are still going through something that we've never experienced in our life. The pandemic has affected people in ways that we never imagined. Like, we know there was the Holocaust, we know there was slavery, we know there was the Great Depression and the Jim Crow era, but we don't know how that affected those people during that time. We only can read about it in history books, or if you have family members. But we know like us people that are here right now, we know how this is something we'll be able to speak to in 30, 40 years, like, yeah, I remember that time frame.
I understand what you're saying, baby, and I feel you, but I gotta, like, you can't make comparisons to the
No, I'm not making comparison to that.
I'm talking about an event that affected 400 years. And so nobody knows. There was a pandemic before in the 20s. And there was a pandemic now. And it wiped out a lot of people in the 20s.
No. Okay, you mistaken. I'm not comparing it to them. What I'm saying is, we don't know what those were other historical occasions. That's all I'm saying. And we can't speak to it because we weren't there. We only know what history books say. I'm not saying that COVID was like the Holocaust.
No, but that's what I'm saying. We can speak to it. It's
we can't speak to it from personal experience.
Nobody can. There's no slavery.
Right. That's what I'm
just saying. We
saying.
still can speak to it because it's generational. Like the pandemic's not going to be generational. There was a pandemic in the 20s. You didn't know about it until this pandemic happened.
The point I'm trying to make is the pandemic, we know, we can speak to this firsthand, how it affected people, the deaths that were experienced. I know it has happened before. I know other far worse atrocities have happened before. All I'm saying is the what happened for our generation that's here now, we've never experienced anything like this.
Right.
So
and I'm
just be mindful and be in tune that although we're trying to resume some sense of normalcy in life, a lot of people are messed up behind it.
I'm not saying that they're not. I'm just saying I don't like the comparison. That's all I'm saying.
Well, forget about the Holocaust. I wasn't comparing. All I was saying is...
Okay, but you don't have to keep defending it. You said what you said. You said what the people heard you, and I'm just saying what I said.
Right, but I don't want to...
a rebuke, like a battle, like you said what you said.
No, but I agree. I don't want people to think I'm saying that the pandemic was just as bad as slavery or the Holocaust.
You didn't say
Absolutely
that. I just said
not.
I didn't like the comparison. You could have used two other historical events other than those two things.
Out of any historical events that happened before, we weren't there. Is what I was saying.
But we still feel the effects of slavery. There's going to be people that 40 years from now won't feel the effects of COVID.
We might still feel the effects of it, but we weren't there to experience it firsthand. That's all I'm saying. Just be mindful. Still take heed to.
You just said you can't experience it firsthand. You didn't have to say about the Holocaust and slavery. That's all I'm saying. But I love you though.
Still take heed to your mental health. Be aware, a lot of people have committed suicide as a result of the pandemic, the isolation. Doctors, I saw something where doctors were saying it was one doctor, he was like, he never had a problem with death, but it was something different about, now this is a doctor who's like in his 40s, so he can't speak to previous historical occasions, but he said it was something different about COVID that just did something different to him. Yeah, you're a doctor and he's an emergency room physician, so he always deals with death, but it was just different.
Yeah, it's different because it's a pandemic and none of us in this lifetime has ever experienced that. There's nobody very few people that's living from the 20s.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Anybody born after that, this is the first time you've dealt with that. So that's plausible, or it's expected for him to be like, this is different. Because you never experienced it. I'm sure when 250 million people got wiped out in the 20s, they was like, this is different. I didn't even know it was that many people. So it's all relative, but it is people all that have mental issues from the COVID situation. I just don't think that 50 years from now it'll be as effective as I guess it is 5 to 10 years from now. You think so? 50 years from now?
It'll be taught, it'll be remembered, it'll be in history books. I don't think that we'll have people, because you think, 5-year-olds now will be, they'll be 55 and they'll be remembering when they had to wear masks,
For the first 3 years of their life.
Right, yeah.
They were like, this is how I thought life was. Last gram is a question, and this is just to end on a lighter note. Red door, blue door. Red door, $10 million in your hand right now. Blue door, go back and fix everything you think was wrong in your life.
Red door.
Red door? Wow.
I'm not going back and change anything.
Wow.
And not to say money solves things, but I wouldn't be who I am today without those things. And then who knows, you go back and you die at 12 years old or something. It's like, damn, I should have took that money and just went off into the sunset.
I didn't think that through. Like, you go back and die.
Like, I should have just
I was thinking about the butterfly effect, but I wasn't thinking about, damn, you're going to go back and croak. Because I changed this one day, and 3 weeks later, I croaked.
What about you go back and you change, getting hit by that Pepsi truck? And what if your mom had took you to the hospital and then they said, okay.
Why would she take me to the hospital if I didn't get hit by the Pepsi truck?
No, what I'm...
She had Munchausen syndrome or something? You said I didn't get hit by the truck when she took me to the hospital.
This is episode 87.
Do a wrap. Act 2 the podcast, episode 87. Wrapping up. It's your boy, International Walk.
It's your girl, Taj, the co-hostess with the mostest.
And again, you guys can catch us on act2thepodcast.com, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google, Podcast, Anchor, Radio Public, TikTok, Breaker, Spotify, and Twitter. If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace.